And we're back. All right.
Hello.
Hey!
I think I think what we have next is is I think you're taken to somewhere where you can have a night's sleep. Um, I think Norman takes you to like another house and like asks the woman in there. I think maybe it's Marty, right? And he says to Marty, "So okay if these are friends relatives of Hugh. Hugh's their big brother, and I don't know where this accent has gone." um, but is it alright if they stay with you? And Marty's like, it's like you're alright, but it's not the most comfortable. And so she ushers you inside, and yeah, there's like pot plants everywhere, and like cages with birds and things, and like all of the little birds are little painted with porcelain, and all of the pot plants are like fabric, and it's all just big blown up doll's house stuff, and like yeah, and she takes you into and like shows you like a couple of I think there's probably two beds that she has that people can two like single beds that people can sleep on, and she says it's not much, but I hope it'll help. And she's like, it's hard to get a good night's rest around here with all the noise. Um, and yeah, she like, is there anything you need? I could get you a cup of warm milk. And you know,
Do you have any biscuits?
she's like, yes, I think I do. And she goes off to to see, and you hear like a kettle boiling, and yeah, you've got a moment amongst yourselves if you want to do anything while she's making tea.
I guess I want to use this moment to just try and check in with Goldie and see how she's doing. Like, Goldie, how are you holding up? You doing okay?
Why is half the house gone? And why is that man missing his face? And why are these biscuits gonna even be biscuits?
I don't know, but everything's gonna be fine. I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna be fine. Is this a
Okay.
satisfying answer?
Yeah, I think at this
All
point,
right, coach.
I think at this point she re-enters with what appear to be like the cups are very like the walls of the cups are really wide, because they're you know kind of blown up miniatures again, but and the plate is really thick, but on it seem to be real biscuits, and like she's got them on a tray, and like there seems to be real hot warm milky tea in the oh no, it's just warm milk, isn't it? Yeah, so it's just real hot warm milk in the cups. And she's like,
I run straight up to her and I'm like, yes, thanks. Yum, 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 yum.
yeah, cool, awesome. And she like puts it down and like clinks out of the room. And she's like, you rest up now. You want to be good and healthy for the morning.
I'm
Yep,
very
Betty
cautious
dives
of
in as
trying.
well.
Yeah.
I'm very cautious of trying either. I don't want to risk getting I want to make sure that if something goes wrong with these, if we get unwell, that someone's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sort of just hesitantly like maybe holding on to them to look polite, but not actually consuming them.
Right. Okay. So if you're not eating, I'm gonna make you make a hail test.
Okay, hail test. Right, that's +2.
Oh,
13.
excellent. All right. Yeah, you're.
Wow.
Yeah, you're.
Bye.
You do not need to eat eat the biscuits in order to feel up to strength. You're fine.
Okay.
That's okay. That's just to be like, do you feel weak the next day from from
Yeah.
not eating? And the answer is you
That
seem to be
is that
fine.
is that is fair.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming like resting tonight is gonna get
You'll
me
get
back
your
that
hail back up.
one
Yep,
hail
exactly.
I lost. Okay, right.
Yep, exactly right. Cool. So what does bedtime look like?
How old is Goldie again?
8.
8.
8. Okay. How independent are you around like heading off to bed? Are you likely like at home expecting your parents to very much like be a part of your bedtime routine, or
Yeah, I always like to choose which parent I get to sleep with. Like if it's gonna be, do I get to sleep in mom's bed or do I get to sleep in dad's bed? Like, or
That
which
tells us
bed
something
do I
very
get to
important
sleep
about home life.
Yeah. So I'm just sitting in the room, just sort of looking at the beds, just a bit like, I haven't brought it up or anything,
Yeah.
but I'm not
Um,
moving towards.
okay. Where do you want to sleep, Goldie?
I don't know.
Well, how about this? I'm gonna sleep in this bed, and Betty's gonna sleep in that bed, and I'm sure you can sleep in whichever one you want of these two. Where do you want to sleep?
Okay, I choose Susan's bed because she's taking charge, and yeah, I'm just
Okay.
like, can I sleep with you?
Yeah, of course, no problem. I sort of just scooch over to the side a bit and, you know. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm very
Cool.
much like, today has been very weird and I just want to get some sleep because I'm hoping that when I wake up, everything will be fine and it will no longer look like someone's missing a chunk of face. I'm just like, hopefully I will wake up and what I have seen will be unseen, and maybe this is still just weird concussion visions from when I hit my head. And hopefully that's not the case, and I just want to get some sleep. So I'm not
Yeah.
questioning what I've seen, I'm just trying to ignore it and get to bed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Betty has a bit of trouble getting to sleep because like these sports metaphors that she tries to keep putting onto everything to make it okay, like they're fine in the moment, but then they're starting to wear thin, so she's just like, get to sleep, get to sleep.
She's not able to successfully make a sports metaphor about sleep. You know,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
sometimes you got to take the time out during the football match in order to reassess your team strength.
Yeah,
You're
it's not really.
You're gonna substitute the
Yeah,
awake player for the
yeah, I'm
sleeping
subbing
player.
out. I'm subbing out. That's a good way to put it. All right, I'm just subbing out for a little while, and then I'm gonna be back on the field tomorrow morning. Okay,
That's
she's able to sleep.
Cool.
I guess. What about you, Goldie? Are you
Yeah, that's
able
my
to get to
question.
sleep, or are you? Yeah.
I missed which bed Goldie went in.
Susan's
Susan.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
No, I think I've actually gotten up out of bed and back into bed a few times during the night. Perhaps I've looked out the window, or I'm just sort of scouting around the room. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Are you getting back up to and into and out of the same bed, or are you trying switching beds at all to see if that's helping?
No, it's actually just the same bed. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna have a glass of water, and I'm gonna go back to sleep again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get up and
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I might get you to make a hail test as well then.
okay, yeah. And I have hail of 2. Right, cool.
Cool.
8.
All right. Yeah. So you're. I think you. Yeah. That's not an outright failure. So you're not tired in the morning. But I think. I think you probably. Like whatever like little bits of like mushroom or things you had in your pockets left. you've like eaten those throughout the night. So you're like your pockets are pretty much empty by the end of the night, and that you keep like
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
That's
cool.
okay.
All right. So, I mean, here's the thing though. I mean, like, there's still that like golden light streaming in through parts of the window, right? Like, there's just like a couple of spots in the house where that's just continuing to stream in. So you like probably go and like look out at the tower once or twice during the thing and just see that like that golden light streaming in from the tower. And then yeah, eventually the others wake up because their body tells them that it's been a certain amount of time. The light is the same. It is still that same like things are either lit by the tower or they're not.
I think, however long I sleep relatively well, but as soon as I do wake up, I get a bit sort of paranoid and I just go sit at the foot of the bed until I'm not going to wake the others up and disturb them, but I just kind of sit at the foot of the bed waiting for them to wake up.
And like you sit there for like maybe even an hour, and that light doesn't move across the wall at all. It just stays there constant. Like in infinite dawn or dusk.
I think the longer I spend sat at the end of the bed waiting, the more I'm running over things in my head. Most of this time I've been worried about Susan and Betty, but I'm getting more worried as time goes on about... Pardon?
About Goldie and
Betty?
Betty?
Goldie and Betty. Sorry, I'm tired.
No, it's okay. It's
Goldie
fine.
and Betty... Yeah. I'm worried about Goldie and Betty, but I'm starting to get more worried about Hugh the longer that we're here. Like, I'm starting to wonder, like, this doesn't seem like where I pictured Hugh being when I knew Hugh was going off to war. Why didn't we kind of know this is what was going on? Is Hugh going to be okay? Like, do Mum and Dad know that this is where Hugh is? If Hugh were to get injured here, would they know anything about what happened to Hugh in the end? It seems like he might just end up vanishing and the parents wouldn't hear anything, because it doesn't seem like anyone here is going back to rural Shire to inform them. And I'm starting to get more worried about Hugh than I was initially. Like, I'm not confident in the idea of Hugh getting, or even just of news getting back home about Hugh. And I'm starting to, like, I don't want to go after Hugh, but I also don't want Hugh to just never come back.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think Betty might kind of like wake up and then look over and see that Susan's like on the end of the bed, just sitting there and like stressing out. Maybe Betty comes over and just tries to kind of like be like, the three of us are together, that's the main thing. And I'm sure once we'll find Hugh, like Hugh will know what to do, because maybe that's also what Betty's come to as well, that she's like, Hugh has been looking after them, and maybe that's why she's been trying to find him, because she's like, he'll look after us.
Cool.
Oh, I guess, are we all up and awake yet, or is Goldie still
Yeah.
sleeping? Okay.
Yeah, I think we're up.
So, assuming no one has come in to find us, I'm gonna suggest we all start getting dressed and head out to work out, start asking questions and work out where we're going from here.
Yeah. Do you want to? So I think yeah. So shall we go out and like start asking the villagers? Is that what we're doing?
I think so. If we start asking the villagers about like, hey, if we were going to the tower, how would we do that safely?
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Yeah,
Um.
and maybe asking Marnie as well, because
Yeah.
Norman said something about Marnie knowing something about the tower
She knows
or
about
something.
She knows about the mushroom fields.
Yes, the
she
mushroom
goes out
fields.
there and
Yes.
like you can see like she's got all these like they look like they should be from like plant cuttings and things, but they're all clearly fake. But yeah, she has lots of like naturey things around the house. So I think she comes in and like and like offers to make you breakfast and like makes a bowl makes a thing of porridge and like you know as you're like eating the porridge, she's like, so what are you lot planning on doing then? Like what's your plan? Sounds like your brother's in a bit of a spot.
Yeah, the plan was we shouldn't have been down here in the first place, and we were just gonna wait for Hugh to come back. But I'm a bit worried about Hugh. I'm worried. Just I'm generally worried for Hugh, and I think we should go and see if we can go find him and get him to come back. At least convince him to, stop pushing forward towards this tower if we can find him. So, I guess. What's the safest way for us to head to the tower, and is there anything we should be aware of if we're going that way?
Yeah, and she like sits from her. She's like, yeah, I remember the conversation with him about about where we managed to get him to head through the mushroom fields. The walls run through there, but it's a bit safer if you want to try and make your way over them. Or there's a couple of gates, but I don't know how they open. He was dead set on heading through no man's land. He said that the lower fences were easy to get over, and he could avoid avoid the bangers. But they come right out the tower onto there, and it's not they come straight out the sky and hit the grass, and you can end up ended. I think he was a bit. I think he felt a bit. He seemed to think he would be safer there than in the mushroom fields with the creatures in there.
I don't know about you, Betty, but I think the mushroom field's the way to go, just because we don't want to accidentally go past Hugh. Like we want to go the same way Hugh went, so if we catch up, we'll find Hugh. And gates don't sound too bad. I don't know if there's anything else we should worry about in the forest other than gates. She's like finding gates to go through seems all right.
Yeah, she's like you got to watch out. Anything that makes a noise in there is probably dangerous. There's I've seen gate. No, that's I was gonna say gators, but I'm gonna say I've seen crocodiles in there and all sorts of funny things coming down from the fronds of the mushrooms. But you keep an eye out, you'll be safe. Here, I'll give you. And she hands you a bag of cat food, like dry cat food, and she's like, take this with you. You can use it as a bit of a distraction or something like that if you need it. She's like Pickles doesn't seem to like it, and you see this little porcelain cat walk past.
At this point, I turn to Goldie and just hey, Goldie, can you listen to me for a second?
Yeah, what is it?
Okay, so we're gonna go and find Hugh, and we're gonna go through a forest, and I know you like looking at things that you find interesting, but this forest is quite dangerous. There are some things in there that could hurt us, and they won't as long as we're careful. But we need to be really careful. We need to not run off needlessly, and if we see something interesting, we have to think, oh, it might be interesting, but it might be bad, and stop and think for a second before we do things. Do you think you can do that? Do you think you can stick with us and not be too quick to go after interesting things? Do you think you can stop for a second and go, is this safe?
Is this safe?
Yeah, is this safe?
Yeah. Listen to Susan. Basically, just if you feel you need to run off, run off. But if you don't, then
No,
don't.
I'm no, Betty. No, I'm going to make an addendum to. I'm going to make a bit of a change to what Betty said. Do you feel okay holding my hand while we go through? And if you feel like you need to run off and see something, are you okay to ask me before you do, so I can tell you if it's safe or not? Does that sound okay?
Can I hold the cat food?
You can hold the cat food with your other hand if you hold my hand with the other. Is that a deal?
Okay then.
Okay. And if we see anything that we want to feed, we're not going to feed it from our hand. We're going to throw the food to it. Is that okay? Have we got that?
I guess. Sure.
Maybe if we see something that we know is definitely nice, then maybe we can feed it from our hand. But we're going to assume that we're going to throw food to things, okay? But you can hold the food.
Yes. Okay. I'd like to
Okay.
feed. Yeah.
We'll try and find you something nice that you can feed from your hand. But if I
Okay.
haven't said you can feed it from your hand, please throw the food to it.
It'll be more fun for them. It's like a game. You throw
Yeah.
it, and it's then they have fun catching it in their gigantic
It's like
rows and
playing
rows of
catch.
teeth.
It's
Yeah.
like playing catch. It's a good fun game for them.
Okay.
In that case, I guess we're going to the mushroom field.
Okay. All right. So
Yes.
so you head out of the village and towards what you've now seemed to have accepted as the mushroom fields and not weird
Yeah,
forest.
I have been won over. I've acknowledged that this is a mushroom field at this point. I'm not necessarily ready to accept that someone is made of porcelain and that half of their face is missing, but I'll accept that mushrooms are a thing.
Yeah. So these mushrooms are like between 40 and 70 feet tall. They're huge, and they create
Wow.
this massive forest.
There's just big mushrooms.
Yeah,
That's
it's
fine.
fine.
I'm
You
okay
know,
with
I guess-
big mushrooms.
It's like
I guess
Mushrooms
if they-
might be big in other places. I don't know.
yeah.
Like if you don't pull them out of the ground and eat them, I guess they would just keep growing.
I
Like
suppose so.
they just haven't
Exactly.
been picked.
like
It makes sense, and I can rationalize that. That makes sense, sure.
So yeah, you start heading under these mushrooms, and yeah, it's like one of those like ancient redwood forests where they tower into the sky, and then there's like more strange like fungi and things all around the ground as like brush and things. And I think like as you're walking along the path, you see that there's here it's similar to where the trenches again, in that like you're walking along the tops of areas and then it kind of sinks down into pools of water that are all around the mushrooms, and yeah, you're like following trails and things.
Do the mushrooms look climbable? Like are they so big that they have ridges to climb up, or
Yep.
do they look climbable?
Yeah, I think you probably could climb them if you wanted to. Just give me a second. So I think the thing is, yeah. Like the thing about this place is that it's very it's very repetitive, but also not, and it seems to like turn you about. And at some point, you walk past like a glowing like frondulous like almost like a bush, and you're like, I'm sure we've been here before.
Can we see the tower as a reference point for direction?
So the thing about this about the mushroom fields is that a lot of that light is being blocked out by the tops of the mushrooms. So that this is why this is the safe way, in that it is the way that has the least visual to the tower. You can still get glimpses of it, but that's how you're getting turned around. I think like part of I think as you're like walking through here, there's like kind of little spore like dust falling from the mushrooms. And as it falls on you, you realize that it's like slightly glowing, and that's giving some of like this like eerie, like just almost like there's light coming from no particular direction in this space, because it's coming from that like light dusty snow from these coming down from the giant mushrooms above. In order to navigate out of here, I'm going to need someone to roll odd. Because they're going to need to be able to like get an angle on like understanding this space, even though it's not a traditional sort of like, you know, there's no signposts or things directing you.
So my odd is -1, so I'm probably not the best person to find a way out of here.
Yeah, mine's 0.
Well, mine's
I think,
quite high.
yeah, I think we both feel that Goldie's like just innate connection to nature might help out here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Do you want to try and navigate?
Yes, and I'm like, because I've been looking at these mushrooms for so long, like I am so primed on how they work and how like how to climb up them, where the light comes through, all of that.
Recognizing mushrooms is like your jam.
Yeah.
Mushroom jam.
That sounds terrible. All right, do you want to roll odd for me then, Maze?
Yes. Yeah, right. I was right. It is high. Excellent. 9.
9. All right. So I think that so that's going to be success with a compromise. So I think what that compromise is that you manage to find the one of the walls, and you manage to find one of the gates. And it's a big heavy it's a gate that goes like this, and it's almost a big door. And you can see that it has this big like padlock on it. And yeah, that's heavily locked. And I think as you're doing that, I think you go up and you like shake the lock and you're like and then that's when you hear like a from a growl from the shadows.
On this side of the gate?
On your side of the gate, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Do we have a sense of like direction or distance of this noise?
Yeah, I think it's coming from like directly behind you, so like from the path that you just followed up to the gate. I think you turn around, Susan, and you see a 7-foot, quite round, hulking figure. It's standing on 2 legs. In fact, like it's mostly silhouetted, but in this light you can kind of see a little bit of the front of it. It seems to be wearing a suit. It has a big fluffy round face, and then a black and white suit. Yeah.
Okay. Goldie, have you got that food ready?
Yes. And I turn around because I've gone and it's gone and I've gone
and it goes
I'm gonna try very quickly to communicate and just be like, hello.
And it's like
Okay,
it takes a step forward and like peers through the thing. And yeah, you can see
Goldie, I want you to throw some of that food past that thing.
So you're definitely holding it in your hand right now? That is definitely what you're miming?
Yes.
And it like sniffs.
Are
And
you
starts
holding
to-
it out in your hands still? You're not throwing it as you're told.
She's saying she's gone this food, and she's just holding it in her hand.
Yes. Can you throw it, Goldie?
And it like takes a couple of steps forward, and like you can see it sniffing, and it's like curious. And it's like, ugh,
Goldie,
ugh.
Goldie, we're
I
gonna
just
try
want-
and throw it.
I don't throw. I underarm it.
Right, okay.
You sort
Are
of
you?
toss it forward.
Yeah. I mean, what's your intention here? What do you want to happen? Do you want to land like slightly in front of you or properly away?
It's sort of slightly in front of me because I am listening to Susan, but I'm also having a very deep connection with my new friend.
I mean, that's definitely odd.
And like, yes. Oh, right. Okay. Yep.
In that, if you're trying to make it come closer by throwing the food, then that's odd.
Yeah. I think that's a result of my hesitancy at obeying Susan and my interest in this animal. Is that now I want it to become closer? Yeah.
Okay, cool. So roll odd for me.
Uh,
Or do you want to try and like do something to interrupt this, Susan?
yeah.
I'm watching this, and my realization is, okay, my pep talk did not work. She's not gonna throw this food so that we can run. I kind of just want to get Goldie out of the way, and my instinct is to pick Goldie up and drop her over the other side of the gate. Just
You can't. You know,
Put her
it's
over the
far too
gate.
tall for that.
Far too tall, okay, I wasn't sure how tall of a gate we were talking.
This is like the gate is now is in this area. The forest, the walls are like 15 feet tall, and the gate is in that.
Okay, there's no pushing, like, this is a solid
No,
enough
this
gate,
is,
I
this is-
can't,
yeah.
like, just
I'm sorry,
very
I
quickly
didn't
get
explain that
Goldie the
very
other
well.
side.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe-
that's fine.
Maybe Betty is kind of like, maybe it's time to see how climbable these mushrooms are.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Goldie,
what
how do you feel
you
about
you could
a
just put yourself
climb?
between Goldie and the one
Yeah,
badger.
yeah, because I think I'm trying to, I'm trying to maybe break her like deep connection by jumping in the middle and being like, this mushroom would be so fun to climb.
Yeah, right. You're gonna try and like distract her. All
But
right.
Yeah.
you're gonna need both. You're gonna need both of your hands to climb it, so you're gonna have to put the food down.
Yeah.
All right, so it sounds like someone is rolling. It sounds like Betty's rolling smart against the odd of Goldie.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's a +1.
Betty.
Ooh, we got a
Oh.
5. Is that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 5.
Yeah.
And what's your rod, Goldie?
Yeah.
Oh, I rolled a 5.
We both rolled a 5.
You both rolled a 5. Okay. The cat food gets spilled on the ground. Betty gets lifted up bodily by the Wombadger.
Oh, is this a Wombadger?
Yeah, that's why he's wearing a black and white suit.
I've only just twigged. Oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah, he's got the black and white suit with the white stripes on the back. And he's picked Betty up bodily. Do you put yourself between the Wombadger and Goldie, Susan? Is that what you're doing?
I'm gonna try.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you roll for that.
I'm gonna try and get in between and get a hold of Goldie as best I can.
Okay, sure. I'm going to let you do that because this is like both of them rolled 5s, which means utter failure. So the situation is that Betty is held above the head of the Wombadger. Susan is standing with Goldie behind her. Susan, can you please make me, I think, a smart?
Yep. Smart is 11.
that's enough to recognize a keychain on the waistcoat of the Wombadger.
Is it in
Okay.
arm's reach? Is it like at a
It
reachable
is.
height?
It is.
Okay. I
He
snatch
does also
straight
currently
for the key.
hold your sister.
Okay, I going to grab for the keychain and try and just physically pull it off, and
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the Wombadger noticing this will be enough for him to lose interest in Goldie.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that this is quick because it's your speed that's required.
Okay, quick, I roll a 6.
All right, that's not a success. You go to like to grab it, and he just throws Betty into you and just like knocks you to the ground, and like so all three of you are like bowling pins onto the floor, and he like growls and like and then like sniffs and like looks around and goes to like reach for the cat food.
Right.
Are any of us close enough to the cat food that we can maybe get it before the Wombadger does?
Any of you could try. It would be a quick roll.
Betty could also like. I think I've got one more yo-yo, so I could try to like sneak around the side and hook it out and grab the key,
Yeah,
the
you can try to do that.
keychain with
Yeah.
the yo-yo.
Yeah, I'll let you try that with this with the quick, but it's going to be either that or the cat food.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Hmm.
Do your yo-yo trick, it's cool.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Try
All
the
right,
cool
I'm gonna
thing.
give it a shot. All right. So that'll be quick.
Mm-hmm.
+3. 8.
8. All right. So I think the answer is that you get them keys. You got a ring of
Yep.
keys in your hand, and like the Wombadger is like grabbed a hold of the cat food and is like staring at you angrily, like having noticed that you've thieved from him.
Yeah. I gotta.
Oh,
Need some
sorry.
help.
You should have taken one damage to hail earlier when you got.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Okay. I'm down to 1.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so when- Yeah.
Yeah. I might need Goldie or Susan to distract the badger since I might be pretty close to him and he seems angry at me. But
Okay, have I lost my opportunity to go for the cat food?
you have missed that opportunity, but he's now distracted from you. He's focused on Betty.
I think I stamp where I am. I'm just like, hey, Wombadger, stop that!
Oh, that's excellent. That is definitely rolling true.
True. Okay. No, that's fine. All right. Eight.
All right. Yeah. I'm trying to work
You
out.
say 8, it appears to be a 9.
Oh, 9.
A 9
Why
is
did I
still.
say 8?
Did you not scroll down enough?
Maybe.
So
Yeah.
on a 7 to 9, that's a partial success. So my question is, do you want to take its attention enough that that like it's going to either not be distracted by you, or it's going to like be distracted by literally picking you up?
Team? What do we think?
This is on you. What kind of tantrum are you throwing at the Wombadger?
I feel like we need to get away from it somehow. Well, maybe yeah.
I
Maybe
think if you are able to distract it further, if its attention was first on Betty, then on Goldie, that does give me, I guess, another opportunity to try and get the key again.
Oh, we've got the key.
Because we've got the key. Oh,
Betty's
we've got the key.
The problem is that it's grumpy.
It's grumpy. Can I use the key while they're distracted to try and start getting the gate open?
I mean, if Goldie gets picked up, then that's enough time for you to open the gate.
Okay. That's up to you, I guess, Goldie. Do you want to? Are you
All
okay
right.
with being potentially picked up?
Yeah, I think that I am happy with being picked up because my first instinct about the Wombadger was that it was like awesome. So yes,
Maybe
Yeah.
it's picking you up to be friends.
yeah.
Maybe we should try to be friendly with it now that we've antagonized it a bit.
Okay, well, while you're trying that, I'm gonna get that key and I'm gonna try and get this gate open while it's
Yeah.
interested in you two, so that we at least have an escape route. So I go and attempt to get the gate unlocked, and I want to have a look on the other side if there's a way to relock the gate once we're through it.
Okay, sure. So
Oh.
yeah, you lock the gate. You unlock the gate. The question is, how long is it going to take you to like push it open? Because it's like, you know, big and old and rusty. So I'm just going to need a quick strength roll from you.
Yep, strength is 5.
Okay.
Oof.
It's gonna you start pushing against it and you hear it like grating. You're gonna be able to move it, but it's gonna take you a little bit of time. In the meantime, yeah, the Wombadger just like lifts up, in one hand lifts up Goldie and like sniffs her belly, and then like throws her over his shoulder, and and starts to like waddle off.
I was gonna be like, because I think what Betty might have done is run around the front because she was like, the last time the Wombadger threw me forward, so I'm gonna like catch
Right,
Goldie
yeah.
if he throws her. But if he threw her behind, then I was like at the front ready to go.
Yeah,
but
no, he's got it over his shoulder. Yeah.
yeah, all right. Maybe
Does
I'll
the-
run in that
Sorry.
direction.
I am like trying to wiggle. My aim is to get on the Wombadger's head and hold their ears and like try and steer it around.
I can't work out if that's odd or quick. I'll let you choose.
Yeah. I mean, it seems perfectly rational to me. Like I'm not sure.
I mean, that's the thing about odd, right? Like odd is about things that seem perfectly rational to you.
Yeah. Well, it's odd because like I feel like this should just be how things are. I'm not concentrating on being quick. I'm just like, all right, this is the next step.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember you
So-
doing that to the family cat, and it with mixed results, but you seemed pretty sure of yourself at the time.
All right.
Cool. So I've had practice as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There you go,
Yeah.
practice.
I feel like you like get on its head, right? And it doesn't seem to offer you much resistance. And you start like pulling on its ears and things, and then like you like, and then like after a bit you realize it's making like this weird like rumbling noise, and it's
Is
like,
it purring?
and it just kind of like sits down and like kind of like and starts just like eating handfuls of cat food out of the bag. And I
You
think
made a friend.
this is the point at which you hear the gate like creak and grind open behind you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's taken that much time for the gate to be open.
So my next move is I'm looking at the back of the gate for any way to lock it behind us.
I think there's probably like some like there are these big stones, right? They're like this big, and you could pile some of them up behind the gate, and it would make it harder to get through. But it'd take you a minute of like stacking them.
Okay, so we would need all of us through the gate and then a minute to stack them as well.
Kinda, yeah. I think the thing
Oh.
is, you see these, and like it looks like they've fallen down from somewhere, and like just when you look off a bit further, you can see a big stone wall. It's not like this one. It's not like so. These walls are made out of like just rocks that have been put together, right? Whereas these are big cut masonry, and you can see that beyond, and the wall has a slight curve to it.
Oh, is this the base of the tower, possibly?
Potentially.
Is this why it's curved? In that case, I look back to see what Betty and Goldie are up to, because the gate
Yeah.
is now open.
What's Betty doing? Yeah. You hear this like
I
rumbling
think I'm
sound.
behind the badger now, and I'm like, hey, Goldie, jump while it's distracted, and I'll catch you.
Yeah,
I mean,
I try. Is the head of the Wombadger a badger or a wombat?
A wombat.
Oh, okay. So it's not as sort of smooth as a badger head.
No, it's a big old wombat in a suit, and the suit has like 2 white lines down the back. I think that's what a badger has,
yeah.
doesn't it? I can't remember. Or 1 white line.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, yeah, while it's sort of crouching down and eating, I try and slide down the back of its head
Oh
towards
yeah.
all right, cool. So my question is, which of you is doing the most work here? Is it Betty's quick or Goldie's?
I think Goldie's probably doing more because all I have to do is like collect her when she reaches the bottom, when she bounces over the tail.
Yeah, okay. So I will do quick then. I
Okay.
guess you'll have to like, if
Yeah.
I fail this, you'll
Yeah.
have to catch me, I guess, right?
Well, no,
Yeah,
one of you
maybe-
can make the rule. You can't. So either one of you is doing the catching or one of you is doing the
Right.
jumping. This is one roll.
Well,
And Goldie, and this is to just make sure that Goldie doesn't hurt herself.
right. I mean, like Betty is pretty focused on that. So if you wanted, Betty could make that roll.
Yeah, maybe Betty should.
Yeah, because I like that's got my full attention. All right,
Cool.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
Oh, excellent! Good job.
14.
Yeah. So, but yeah, she slides down and into the air, and you like catch her and like just like tumble
Yeah.
towards the gate.
Yeah, well, I think I probably do like a thing where I catch her and like roll and like fling her up, and then she like lands on her feet.
Yeah, excellent.
Because I've done that kind of like gymnastic move before.
Yeah, or you just see like the like.
I'm just like copying Betty. I've seen her do this so often. I'm just like,
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine you just like landing and you're like, how did that happen? Oh, that's fine.
I think so. The thing is that yeah, like you like land and it's like silent, right? You stick the landing, and then all we
Yeah.
hear is the like crunching as this of the cat of the wombat like just shoveling cat food into its mouth. As like I'm assuming Susan is there being like, come on, like
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm so proud of myself. I'm like looking around for like the cheering and the crowd, but and I'm like, oh right, Susan. Yeah, okay.
So yeah, you make your way up to the gate. Susan, what's the deal? What's the plan?
The plan is get through that gate and run for what I think is the tower. Like, I just want to get the 2 of them together and sprinting towards that curved wall.
Yeah, cool, awesome.
Like, I have no intentions of waiting around to see if this one badger stays friendly or not. I just want to grab them and run.
Yeah, cool. All right, so yeah, you head inside and you grab the 2 of them and head towards the tower. And once you're like through the wall, you can see that there's heaps of these stones scattered all around the place, and they all have this like weird. They're all like weird like lines on them, as if they've been like they've like during the masonry they've almost been like scored or something. And so you start heading towards the tower, and you see you see that like the ones that are closer to the tower seem to have like some kind of color on them, and they're different colors and things. And you can see that like the ones further from the tower are pretty much stripped bare, but the ones that are closer to the tower are definitely painted. These big stones, they're definitely painted in in these different colors. And you see standing near the there's an entrance to the tower, and you can see two figures in red jackets with white crosses and tall hats, and they have like grey faces that have they're like grey skin with like painted faces, and they're standing at guard.
Do either of them look like old mate Top Hat? Or
neither of them.
Person?
No. They have different spurs of on their sides.
I think I'll run up anyway and say, "Hey, Top Hat!"
And they immediately they immediately. I think they've probably got rifles with bayonets, and they immediately level them towards you as you're running towards them. And they're like, "Halt! Who goes there?"
I skid to a stop and look behind me at Betty and Susan.
Hello? Sorry, it took me a second to respond. I'm just a bit overwhelmed by all of this. Hello?
And they're like, this is a high security area. You shouldn't be here.
Look, I know that we maybe shouldn't be here, but we're looking for Hugh. We're aware that he came this way and that he hasn't come back, and that we can't get home until we find him. We're a bit worried about his return. We're just trying to find Hugh.
They're like, I don't know anyone named Hugh, and I don't know what you're talking about. If you don't leave immediately, we'll have to place you under custody.
Okay. I'm at this point. I grab both Betty and Goldie, and I just try and sort of back away far enough that we can get out of sight and look like we've left, but that we can hopefully still have a bit of a sight on what's going on.
Yeah, cool. Roll
odd. Roll odd.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not a good thing for me to roll.
No, but it's definitely what you're doing.
Cheeky. Look at the cheeky TM face.
Hey,
8.
that's not bad. I mean,
that could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I think the answer then is that they so you get out of sight and then have a peek around the corner, and you see them have a discussion, and then one of them goes inside.
How are they going inside? Are they just walking straight in?
There's a big door in the front of the tower. It's that's the reason they've got two guards posted there. It's just a door in the front.
Okay, so there's two guards, and one of the two guards has walked in, so there's now only one guard outside?
Yes, there is now only one guard outside, yeah.
Well, that's that's easy to run interference if it's just one guy. We can just one person runs this way, and then one runs the other way, and then he chases one of them, and then the other one, and then we're just all inside. Let's do that.
Or...
Sorry, are you proposing a Benny Hill technique?
Yes, yeah, basically.
Are you planning to sing the theme tune as we attempt to run in?
I think that makes sense. I think that's the only logical thing to do.
My question is the guard that remains outside the one that told us to leave? Or was the one that told us to leave the one that's now got inside?
Is the one that's now gone inside.
Okay.
But they were both there for that conversation.
Okay, so the one that's left outside was there for that conversation, but is not actively the one that threatened us to...
That's true, yeah.
To leave. Okay, how big and strong does this person look?
6 feet tall, fine, proper specimen of the of the king's colors. You know, like he is not bulky. But he is like, you know, square shouldered, tall, probably relatively muscular under his suit. If he has muscles, it's, you know.
Okay. I think I have a plan, and here's my suggestion. Goldie,
Yes.
I'm gonna need you to scream as loud as you can. Try and pretend you're in trouble, and be very, very loud. And hopefully they'll come to look what's happening, and we can run around and get in.
Okay, I feel like Goldie isn't very good at screaming. And the tantrum that she threw earlier, like there was a reason why that was so effective, was because she's like, that's the first time. That's like the tantrum of Goldie's life.
You're
So-
all out of tantrum now, are you?
I don't know. I feel like Goldie's quite. She does things on her own. I don't know. Is usually quite
Okay.
quiet.
Can
So
Yeah, you'd be rolling true to scream.
I mean that makes sense because true's a shit stat for me. All right, let's do that. Cool.
Or strong, your choice.
They're the same. Also, I've just posted Ada's
I
Wombat
had it up
Jar.
on screen
Oh
just
my
now.
gosh, I did have a look at it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I rolled 5.
Yeah, that's not great. So what was the intention here? What did we want to happen? We wanted him to come and investigate, and then you're gonna, like, is this the equivalent of a ding dong dash?
Kind of, but
Yeah.
like a remote ding dong dash that hopefully like they'd come out one way and we could run like the other way around them as they came to investigate.
Yeah. So what happens is he like calls up the tower, and like the original guard that like went in there reemerges with 2 other guards. So there's 4 guards at the front of the tower.
That didn't go as hoped.
All right, it's time for
yeah, and
Betty's plan.
So is the
Are you still hoping for Benny Hill sketch? Or I guess Betty Hill sketch?
Betty?
The more of them they are, the more they can like run into each other in a comical way.
I'm not sure that's how it works, Betty.
It's what's happening.
It sounds like that's what's happening.
All right, let's go, Goldie.
All right, that's definitely everyone can roll either quick or odd at their choice.
All right.
I need
Alright,
all 3
I'll
of you to
roll
roll
quick.
because this is getting all 3 of you into the tower potentially.
I'm doing quick. 3.
Oh no!
Oh, natural one,
I got
natural.
11.
I had 2 natural ones plus a 1.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Goldie?
Oh, I got a 7.
You
Yeah.
got a 7.
And
All
I-
right. So
I got an 11.
all right. Gosh.
Sorry, Susan.
So what definitely happens is
Yes, TG came, TG.
it is like you emerge into so Goldie and we see people running past the screen, and then someone running past back the other way, and then like all of you running past as a group, including the guards, and then you chasing the guards, and then the guards chasing you, and then the guards being chased by the Wombadger, and then the Wombadger like stopping and eating more cat food, and then the guards coming in and like shaking their things, and like then chasing the Wombadger off, and then we just cut to like the inside of the tower where there's like just the big open open space inside with the stone stairs going up that like curl their way up to the top of the tower. And inside we see Goldie and Betty, and they're like, okay, we made it. Wait, where's Susan? Right? And then we just see Susan outside surrounded by 4 men with four guys with with guns pointed at her. So
I call to the Wombadger. Help!
I'm gonna say that the cost of your 7 is that the Wombadger was scared away.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, but I had to impose
Yep.
a cost for the 7.
Yep.
So that's gotta be it. Yeah. All right. So what's the plan now
Wow.
that you're safely inside and your sister and your grown-up sister is outside dealing with the soldiers?
I mean, I think for Betty, she's kind of like frozen and not sure what to do, and might just watch what happens out there.
Sure.
She's like a little bit disbelieving that her plan failed so badly.
Yeah. How did that not work?
Yeah.
So do you
So
like what
Sorry, go on.
what I'm imagining happens then is that you like hide in a corner as they like march her inside and up the stairs.
Yeah.
Right? And they start
Okay.
marching
Oh,
her
yeah.
towards the top of the tower. Like
Yeah.
and they've forgotten about the two
While
of you.
I'm
Yeah, what are
while
you
I'm
doing?
being marched inside, I'm trying to be honest with them about the situation and just trying to plead with them. And the more it's going on, the more upset I'm probably getting.
I mean, the thing is,
I
I think
imagine this is. Sorry, yeah.
I think that there becomes a point where they work out that that you're an ally or related to their current prisoner, right?
Okay. Well, I've probably given away that I'm related to their current prisoner by mentioning his. If they're aware of Hugh's name,
They're
then
not.
they'll
That's the
probably
thing,
work
right?
it out.
Like, but as soon as you
Oh,
say
okay.
like, have you seen like a young man a bit older than me dressed like X? You know, as soon as you say that, if you're being completely
Yeah,
honest with them,
I'm a bit more sort of look. I'm really sorry. We're looking for someone who can get us home. We're not meant to be here, and we're a bit scared, and we're just trying to find someone who can help us get home. And I'm really sorry. We didn't mean to trespass, and I'm just trying to get home. I don't mean any trouble, please. And getting a bit sort of teary and choked
Yeah,
up as I go.
definitely.
I'm scared. I'm held at gunpoint by 4 people. This is overwhelming, and
Is there a
I'm
thing?
just.
Is there a result that you think you could get that you're trying to get currently?
I'm hoping to get them at the very least sympathetic that I don't mean any harm and that
Yeah,
I
right.
just
Okay.
want to be like that I'm just homesick and I
right.
just want to be home.
So I think if you roll true,
I'm
you might be able
sorry.
to convince them that you're not a threat. So
Okay.
you're going to be dealt with, but they're not going to like deal with you harshly.
Okay. I roll an 8.
Okay, so you're definitely going to be put like in a cell of some kind.
Okay.
You're definitely a prisoner. Definitely going to be locked up, but they're also
I'm
not going to
probably
like.
not on death row already.
They're not going to throw you off the top of the tower or whatever it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So I think the two younger sisters definitely hear the like clanking of the tin soldiers, like climbing the stairs. And inside, all that this tower is a set of winding stairs that goes up the inside of the tube, right? Like it's not complicated on the inside. And all it does is like lead up to an opening on the top floor.
Yeah, I mean, I think as long like for Betty, as long as Susan is in sight, she probably just stays hidden and watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
so
what,
yeah,
like-
Susan eventually
Started
disappears.
crying.
Yeah. Right.
I start crying.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, like,
But just quietly.
are you crying quietly or are you crying loudly enough to be heard?
I'm crying quietly and
Hmm.
tugging on
I was gonna
Betty
say,
to
like,
find-
yeah.
I'm just trying to shake an answer or instruction out of Betty, and I'm just going like faster
Yeah.
and faster and faster, and I'm just like, come on!
I'm hoping that Goldie's crying isn't noticed because I'm probably crying quite a bit more than Goldie.
Yeah, definitely.
I am freaking the hell out. I am not
Yeah.
making any secret of my, like, I am being pulled away at gunpoint, and I don't know where my sisters are, and I don't know where my brother is, and I want to pretend I don't care, but I really do. I am terrified, and I'm crying.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that
Betty
crying
gets
is
a little
enough
bit-
to drown out any quiet crying somewhere else.
Betty
Um,
gets a little bit flustered, and she's looks at Goldie, and she's like, "Well, what do you think we should do?"
I say we have to go get her. She's being taken away. We have to go get her.
All right.
We can't lose her too. Everyone's going. Everyone's disappearing. We don't have anyone anymore.
Yeah. All right. Let's try to sneak up the staircase behind them to
yep.
try to at least see where she ends up.
Okay, so you're taken up the stairs, Susan, and you get to the top. And what you see is is that like hovering above you is this giant bright light, and it's like slightly like burning or sweltering you, like a heat lamp in a bathroom, but like turned up to like 11, um, and like hovering over it is that like horrible like fuchsia and burgundy thing, like just it's spinning over the top of this giant light, and like I think you as you like and you see all around the top of the tower, like beneath this giant like almost like ball of plasma, like with their heads and hands in stocks are 6 or 7 tin soldiers, and your brother, and they're all in stocks, and specifically they're set up so that they're like facing down, they can't look up, and yeah, you're taken and placed into these into stocks like this as well, and I think it's shortly after this that the other two emerge up top. If you want to emerge without being seen, you're going to need a quick roll. And I'll just need it from one of you.
You can do it, Betty.
All right. Ten.
Cool. Awesome. So yeah, you manage to like sneak your way up, and like you go and like hide amongst the parapets and the crenellations before any of the soldiers spot you, and they while they're like busy like manhandling Susan to put her in the stocks, and yeah, she gets locked up, and then they head back down to do their guarding duty. Above you can see this giant like this giant like plasma light bulb thing that is like that is just hovering in the air, and above it dances that horrible that horrible light lampshade type jellyfish thing. What's happening, Susan?
I'm just in the stocks, just limp, crying. I've just kind of given up at this point. There's no fight in me right now. I just don't quite know what to do.
Yeah, all right.
Like, I never wanted to be in this situation, and I'm just waiting for something to happen because I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. What's the plan,
Betty-
kiddos?
Like, I guess we'll wait until we're not hearing any more footsteps, and then, like, do you reckon let's sneak over towards Susan and then be like, "Hey, Susan."
Yeah.
You do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Susan, it's us.
Hi, can do you know how to get me out of here?
All right.
we like start looking around for a key or something, or what is it that's
Yeah.
holding her down?
There's a padlock on the thing, but you are holding a keychain.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we should try this. We should try this key that we've got.
So here's the
All
thing.
right.
To be able to so I think like the two, like Susan and Hugh, are on opposite sides of this circular tower. So in order to unlock both of them, if you want to do that, I'm gonna need an odd roll because it's subterfuge. It's yeah.
Mm. Mm.
I think.
Okay.
Well, do you reckon we focus on Susan first?
Yeah, because
Because
she's the loudest and all of that. Like she's crying. So.
yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
Sure.
So we might just do Susan for the moment because we're
I'll give you
we're
a
not
+1 if you're
quite
only
sure
trying to
enough
do
of
one.
ourselves to pull off anything else until we've got an older one around.
Yeah, sure. Awesome. So roll me an odd. You have +1 on this to whatever you're doing. So
All right. I'll roll. 10.
awesome, cool, great. So yeah, you unlock Susan, and you hear
Yeah.
Hugh on the other side groan a little. But Susan, your like neck is like sore. Your neck and wrists are sore from being in this thing for even a few minutes. But
This is my first moment of actually realizing that Hugh's there. Like during all the commotion of being put in the stocks, I hadn't even really realized that Hugh was there. And now I'm sort of just, my urge is to want to go and get Hugh free because, like, we've been through an awful lot that's like
Yeah.
a bit overwhelming. It's just like Hugh, responsible adult that is older than us that can help.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Betty is like, Susan, I'm sorry that I got you caught. We did technically end up inside, so my plan kind of worked, but I didn't want it to work in this way.
Look, just don't apologize. That's not important right now. Like, we shouldn't have been here, but we're here, and we're gonna get Hugh, and we're gonna go home. Okay?
Sounds like a plan.
We're gonna go home. We're gonna be fine, and we're gonna go home, and everything's gonna be fine.
All right.
And I'm not really coming up with a plan. I'm just trying to reassure myself that like it's fine and
I think as you're having
it's
this
fine.
conversation, the horrible jellyfish lampshade above you shifts,
Ooh.
right? As you as the conversation comes up to like more normal talking level, it shifts and it starts to turn. What do?
is there anything around that we could quickly try and hide behind?
I mean, it's going to be difficult to hide in the crenellations from a thing that's above you. But yeah, the question is,
No, there's not like a table or anything we could hide under.
no,
or
it's
okay.
open with. You could go down the stairs if you wanted to try and go down the stairs.
Maybe
Or you
it's
can try
time
and
for me
just
to
be as quick as possible to like unlock you quickly. That's up to you.
maybe it's time for me to grab those skates that I've had around my neck this whole time and put them on.
Yeah, and skate over and unlock you.
Yep. I'm gonna try that.
That sounds
You're gonna-
awesome. Do that with Quick.
All right. Yeah.
Do the skates offer any kind of quick bonus?
No, they don't. Unfortunately, they allow you to do the thing.
Okay.
All right. Oof. 10.
Oh my gosh! Wow, look at that. Awesome. So you skate over there, and like you unlock Hugh, and you get him up, and you can see he's in the total daze, and he's like, I'll just be a minute. I've just got to,
We don't have a minute,
Yeah.
Hugh. We gotta get out of here.
And what happens is that like as you've got him up, the horrible shape finishes turning, and you see the woman from the church women's group, her massive face, like 10 times the size that it ever was in life, emerging out of her horrible dress. And she looks down at you and says, "Are you playing with toys?"
So, just a quick question, like, I finally feel like I have an idea of what's maybe going on. Are we just tiny right now? Because that would explain the giant mushrooms and the giant church woman. And it would explain the yo-yo string becoming a big rope. Did we fall down a hole that shrunk us?
I'm not telling you my magician's secrets. That's...
I think I finally might have a beat on what's going on. So can we just like grab Hugh and try and like physically just drag him down the tower with us?
I mean, the thing is, is that currently she's like occupying most of the space of the tower. So you're going to need to do something about her, whether that's like physically or just like, yeah.
I mean, we found Hugh. Perhaps his sports team can help in the women's sport.
Or maybe
she seems to be specifically cross at you for being childish or something.
maybe Goldie can like start reciting Shakespeare or something, like something, I don't know, do something that would like impress, or something nature related, like you're like impressing her with your knowledge of all the different types of mushrooms that you know about.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
Yeah. So the kind of like, that would be an odd, if you were trying to just like talk to her as like, of like just talk her down. So odd would be to try and deceive or distract her. True would be to be like stand up and talk to her like face to face and be like, nah, fuck you. Quick would be to just try and like mack it down the tower. Strong would be to try and like take her on in some way, like physically.
I think Betty has said to me like just tell her about the mushrooms, and I've brightened up and I was like, oh yeah. And I'm like, hey woman, guess what was her name?
I can't remember. I'm sorry. I didn't write.
Church woman.
Church lady.
Hi, church lady. Guess how many mushrooms I know? And I start reciting. I know the poppy mushroom, the grey mushroom, the purple mushroom, and I just like keep going.
Yeah.
And I don't even look at the others. I just look straight at her, and I'm going and going and going and going.
I think the only danger here is we're all also going to be just enraptured by your mushroom recitation.
Oh no! Avoid it. So I'll roll out, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what end goal we're hoping to get here, but
well, hopefully she's totally enraptured by what I'm saying.
All right. So
yeah,
with an 8,
so that we can sneak out while she's distracted.
right.
That somehow Goldie can as well.
So with an 8, I think that she's like bemused and like confused about what's going on. She's like and she's like, that's not what are you talking? What? Silisha, what? So I think so what I think I want to see, like if we step out a bit, is like I feel like Susan, there's an opportunity for you to step up here, and there's also an opportunity for like while she's slightly bemused and confused, she can probably be told sense by someone.
Okay, well, I guess
I think, and the other thing I wanted to say is that like while that's happening, Betty, you can probably get Hugh out.
So what I want to kind of do is try and talk to her and just be really sincere and be like, look, I know this is going to sound really weird, but we went looking for Hugh and we've ended up in... I don't quite know what's ended up going on here, but trust us that I am deathly serious when I say that I just want to get everything sorted and get Hugh home and get everything back to serious and normal life, and I'm just trying to get everything sorted. I promise you, this might not make sense, but I promise you that, like, I am being sincere. I'm just trying to sort everyone out and get Hugh home all right.
Cool. All right. So what I think, and I'm assuming, what are you doing, Betty? Is that are you trying to do the Hugh
I
thing, or
mean-
are you trying to, or do you want to like get out your tennis racket and go after her face, or?
No, I think now that Susan's like taking charge, I'm going to like um I mean I it's hard to know.
Well,
Like,
let's roll for eight.
that-
Let's roll for Susan's taking charge with a true. I
Hmm.
think
Okay.
so. Yeah. Like if you can give me arguments for like why she should like calm down or whatever, then yeah, I'll give you a +1.
What, me?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the reason that she'll calm down from that is just that it's an attempt at reassuring her, like, look, I don't quite know how you're perceiving what's going on, but I'm hoping that my sincerity comes across in that, like, my aim here is to get Hugh home safely, and that's what's concerning me. And I promise you that everything that's going on is me just wanting the three of us to feel okay and Hugh to come home.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Cool. So yeah, roll with a +1 on your true.
Okay.
Because
sorry, I'm just
getting
putting-
the thing about getting Hugh home safely is the thing that's gonna.
Yeah, that's I guess that might be what would be the thing.
If,
so
if you mentioned the getting the young men's group to like help out at church, like
Okay. So +3 because I've got that bonus, so 11.
Excellent. So yeah, she like so the thing is like there's this little kid in front of her being like, and I know about spore mushrooms, and I know about fungi, and I know about box mushrooms, and she's like what is going on here? What are you all doing? And yeah, and like her huge bulbous face like a giant moon before bobbling before you. And yeah, and then you like step up and you're like, I'm very sorry, this is the situation, and we're hoping we can get Hugh home and blah 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 for so that we can get him to help out in church. And she's like, well, of course you are, that makes sense of well, I don't know why you're wasting so much time. And yeah, and she kind of like you see her start to like spin about in like a little bit of confusion in like a slow turn and start to like wobble as she bits of the fabric start to like fold in on themselves. What are we doing?
Let's get out of here.
Grab Hugh and run.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's where we kind of close off a little for this section. I think I like the image of you just running across the no man's land with like the grenades going off behind you while you've got got Hugh in tow and like and like climbing up back through the climbing up like going back down into the tent and like climbing up with each other's help through the muddy thing. And then like
beautiful.
and then like emerging blearily from the forest as the dawn light comes up in the east, and it's that same golden light again where you're emerging into the daytime.
Nothing has changed.
We can finally play some tennis.
So just to
Oh
clarify,
my God, Betty.
just to clarify, as we've come out the hole and we're back in the forest, Hugh is actually with us.
He is actually with you.
Okay.
Once you come out but he's very dazed and confused. He doesn't seem to understand what he was doing in the forest or anything like that.
Okay, he has no awareness of the adventure we've just been on.
None.
Okay.
He tells you about how he found some strange toys in the forest that someone had left there in a clearing, or something. Some like a little tower made out of like little painted wooden blocks and some tin soldiers. But yeah. Cool. All right.
We'll
Well,
play doubles.
Yeah, go play doubles. Finally. All right.
We're playing doubles. And we've never played a better game before.
I'm kind of a bit distracted during doubles because at this point I believe what happened, but I don't believe it enough to talk to Hugh about it because like I genuinely believe it happened, but I don't want the judgment that would come from telling Hugh, oh, we saved you by going through the giant mushroom forest and rescuing you from the wombatcher and climbing the tower with the giant lady in it. I'm just like, I believe it. I'm not gonna say, but I do. I'll try and play tennis.
You just like it's the first game in a very long time where the younger two have won.
Yes.
Because like what keeps happening is you keep like idly just like it, like instead of just standing there doing nothing, you occasionally kind of try, and that just stops you up even more.
Yeah, like Hugh's dazed and confused about the whole situation. I'm too busy thinking about like how do I process what definitely happened. And we're just we're not doing a good job at all of keeping up with basic tennis.
Cool. All right. Well, I think that's the end of our story. Just we close on a game of tennis. Of people knocking fist-sized things over like a fence between them on a green field.
Amazing! I didn't notice that one. That's so good.
All right. So, thank you everyone for joining us today. That was an excellent time. I'm so glad that Footprints worked as a system because it could have been very bad. And I'm so glad that I had such awesome people to play games with. Shall we do some shout outs and call it a night?
Sure.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, you're at the top of the roster, Laura. So do you wanna tell us where people can find you and all that sort of stuff?
You can find me pretty much everywhere at Laura K Buzz. That's Laura K Buzz on Twitter, YouTube, all those kind of things. If you like these sort of like role play type things, on my YouTube channel, I do have a one-shot that I DM'd recently called The Goblin's Feet, which can be found on YouTube /Laura K Buzz. Other than that, I'm soon going to be on a D&D podcast called Dice Funk. So if you want to start listening to season 3 of that, I will soon be introduced there. So hooray, woo, RPGs.
Awesome. Jason, who are you and where can we find you?
Yep, so I am Jason _Bakker, BAKKER on Twitter. And yeah, if you want to check out the game that I'm working on, it's Wayward Strand. So it's just twitter.com/Wayward Strand. Yes.
Cool. And Maze, who are you and where can we find you?
I'm Maze. I'm a composer, sound designer, audio person for video games, and you can find me at MAIZE WALLIN on Twitter. And I've put everyone's links in the chat as well.
Awesome, good job. I see. Yeah, cool. And I've been your GM. My name is Ashton McCallan, or you can find me at acegiac.net. That's ACEGIAK. Same on Twitter. So acegiac on Twitter. And this has been I Am Not Trying to Kill You. And we'll be back again next week with another game and different story. And thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Bye.
So long, everybody.